Hey friends, welcome back to another episode of Grow Together. My name is Anna McGuire, and I'm still trying to wrap my mind around this being our final conversation that focuses on a different Assemblies of God college or university and the women who are there preparing for a life of yes to Jesus and his assignments. Today's conversation is going to be coming from Nelson University in Waxahachie, Texas. The conversation is going to be led by one of the Network of Women Ministers team members, Saehee Duran, which Saehee, anytime that she can speak, I lean in and listen. Not only is Saehee going to be sharing, but she's going to have two students a part of the conversation, Allison Jones and Eliona McElderry. The conversation is beautiful in that transformation and personal growth we often find come from unexpected places or failure or places that we don't want it to come from. I mean, anybody else, real talk? That usually our growth and that transformation that God has for us is served to us in a way that we did not see coming. So enjoy this conversation today with Saehee, Allison, and Eliona.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Grow Together podcast. This is it. This is the last podcast featuring one of our AG schools. And I've been so enjoying getting to know a lot of amazing students and mentors on campuses. My name is Dr. Saehee Duran, and I get to serve here at Nelson University. Some of you guys may be wondering, what's Nelson University? Is that one of our AG schools? Well, we recently rebranded our name from SAGU, S-A-G-U, to Nelson University. Some of you guys are already aware of it. That is to honor our founding president, P.C. Nelson, and his mission for the whole gospel to the whole world. I am here with two incredible students that are called to vocational ministry, Allison and Eliona. We'd love to have you introduce yourself, and then we'll go through some questions around the theme of transformation.
Perfect. Yeah, like she said, my name's Allison. I'm a senior here at Nelson, and I basically am really involved in Student Congress. I serve as the president. I'm in my second and final term here on campus, and so I've really enjoyed getting to be a part of that.
And my name is Eliona McElderry. I'm a sophomore, and I'm involved in Res Life here at Nelson, and I am on the Collins RA team, which has been an incredible honor. And I'm a children and family ministry major with emphasis on children and family.
Yeah, I'm
Church leadership.
Church leadership for me too.
That's great. Amazing student leaders already demonstrating gift of servanthood and call to ministry, and it's incredible. And Eliona, you're a PK as well, pastor's kid, and so she was born into ministry.
Yes.
So thank you, and I'm sorry, all of that. There you go. Well, we do have some questions around the theme of transformation, and I gave you some heads up to think about it. But let's start with the first one here. I want to kind of explore the idea of unexpected transformation, because we go through a lot of changes through our college life, and some of them, like, you didn't really see that coming, right? Mm-hmm. So my first question is, what has been the most surprising way God has transformed you during your college years? Something you didn't expect to happen, but now you see it as a crucial part of your journey. Eliona.
The Lord has just been really working in my life in incredible ways. Before I came to Nelson University, as she mentioned, I grew up in a church family. My dad's a pastor. My walk, though, with the Lord was not super personal. It wasn't very regular, per se. And so when I came to Nelson, I was really pushed by my peers, by my professors, by my pastor. I just was so pushed to make a daily devotional life that was dedicated and very consistent. Mm-hmm. And a lot of my classes, a lot of some of our projects like Solitude and stuff, like, has just really pushed me in incredible ways. And I never would have expected the position as being an RA. I never even wanted to. But the Lord just opened those doors. And just even coming to Nelson was so unexpected. I'm from North Idaho, which was a long, long ways away. And so just coming here and everything being new, I've just seen the Lord's hand in everything. And it's just been so beautiful. And it's really grown my faith and my walk with the Lord. So
that's beautiful. Yeah. How about you, Allison?
Yeah, so for me, I got really close to God in my high school and junior high years. And so I remember in high school just being like, I can't wait to go and preach to people. I can't wait to go and just do ministry. Like, I want to go do ministry right now. Like, I was ready and on fire coming to Nelson to just get involved. And something that I didn't expect was just how much trust I was going to learn to have in the Lord that I didn't already have. My freshman year, I was like signing up for everything. Like I said, I was ready, eager to be involved in everything. I wanted to just really be involved. And there was just a lot of closed doors that I wasn't expecting. It was a very slow process my freshman year to getting involved. And I just remember being in my dorm room just being like, Lord, like, I'm ready, just like help me. Like, I just want to get involved, open these doors, please. Or like I got to the place of being like, Lord, if you want me to do something else that looks different to whatever I'm just like desiring to do, like I submit to your will for me, and I'm here for what you have and not just what Allison wants, even though I'm excited about it. So yeah, that was kind of like my fall semester. And then spring semester, I got the invitation to Student Congress to be their creative social media person. And I just remember being like, Lord, like, I don't want to step through this door if it's not what you have for me, but I felt his peace. And then I've been involved ever since. So during that fall semester coming in, I've gained a lot of trust in the Lord and trust in God, and just being ready to submit to whatever his will looks like for me. So
That's really powerful. You know, that's a lesson that all of us learn in every season, actually. Learning to trust in God and his timing and his plan through no's and through closed doors. Because closed doors doesn't mean no forever. It means another plan. And sometimes it's greater than the plan. This is our theme, by the way, right? And this is so cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about transformation through failures. You know, we were talking about how a lot of different closed doors, you're excited to do everything, but sometimes we learn through mistakes as well, and which are great things as well, right? So I will ask you this question, actually, just specifically. Sometimes failures can be the greatest catalyst for growth.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't have failure, just pass the mic to Allison. She just kind of gave it to you.
Right.
Yeah. Can you share a time you experienced failure or setback that actually propelled your transformation into your ministry in the dorm or in the other aspects on campus?
Yeah. When I was in high school, I was extremely involved in my school. I was the president of my school. I was involved at a state level in FCCLA. I was involved in pretty much every club I could. And I was like the president or vice president. I was like the head of it. As I was about a sophomore, there was a new change in leadership, and they really wanted to do new things and bring change. And I hopped on board with that. And I was very, I took the reins. I really did a lot with the school. And I watched, now that I'm out of it, I've seen how I acted. And I had a lot of pride because I had left the school being like, I don't even know how they're going to survive without me. Like, I've done so much for them. And it was a very prideful. And I, like, now that I even think about it, I'm like embarrassed about it. I was like, that was embarrassing. But I would push my change, and I'd push the things that I wanted to do without consideration of the people around me or their points of view. I was very like, nope, I'm in charge. It's my way or the highway. I burned a lot of bridges when I left. I see those failures and how I led for myself, for my own ambitions, my own goals, how I just was very prideful. And I came here, and when some of my professors were talking about servant leadership, and I was really embarrassed, and like I even just like asked the Lord for forgiveness, because I was like, I was leading out of my ability. I was leading out of what I wanted to do. That whole past of like how I used to lead has really changed how I lead now. And I'm very intentional to say, like, Lord, it's not specifically for my RA position. It's not my hall, it's your hall, Lord. Like, it's not, these aren't my girls, these are your girls. And so, Lord, like, I just want to honor you with all that I am. And so, like, continuing to humble myself, like, this position isn't, like, I'm not just an RA, like, I'm a servant of the Lord. and also learning that like change is slow and like you have to be patient and like lead out of love. Like, you know, like one of the scriptures is like, if I were to like do all these things for the Lord, but I didn't have love, it was for nothing. And so like I've really seen that like I need to lead and to love people, and that needs to be my first priority, not what I can do and not what I want to happen. It's for their good and because I love them. Those failures in high school, I think, has really pushed me. And as looking forward into ministry, like I'm seeing, like I have to be very intentional in those areas, and it's just changed how I look at leadership a lot. So,
wow. Eliona, you're only sophomore, right?
Yes.
Are you sure you're a sophomore? Because you don't sound like you sound way too mature
Very
for that.
wise.
Right?
Very wise.
So there's some benefit of making mistakes and learning a good life lesson through failures. You know, God always shapes us, molds us, even into the different seasons. I'm in my 40s. I feel like I'm learning what you're learning. In my season, and that's just kind of the part of growing in Christ. Okay, I'm going to direct this question to you, Allison. So, unseen transformation. Some transformation is visible, you can recognize it right away, and some are not. And this is what the question is going to be about. Ministry often involves the unseen, the quiet moments with God, the things no one else witnesses. How has your personal transformation unfolded in those unseen, intimate moments with God during your college journey?
Yeah. This was a question I was very excited about because it's a defining thing for my time here at Nelson, especially at this age. Especially stepping into a leadership role on campus, I was very in a place of like, Lord, this is yours and I'm not going to get in the way of it. And so I tried to spend as much time with him as possible. But also stepping into a leadership role was new for me. I had never been in an established leadership role before. And so I encountered a lot of things I wasn't expecting, like opposition or having to communicate extra more than I thought I would need to, certain things. And so I got very close with the Lord in like just as simple as taking drives and like just talking to him like a friend. And there were even nights in my room where I would be worshiping and I would have like old Hillsong, back in the day Hillsong, just on worship until like 3 a.m. There were days I would just be interceding for student congress and for the students. I get emotional talking for the students here at Nelson. But that was something that was so evident, was my time in the unseen moments that a lot of people did not see. I would go into, basically I'd be praying in my car, taking one of those drives, and then head to one of my student congress meetings, and things that the Lord would speak to me in that time actually were for what was going to happen, and he was preparing me for what I was going to encounter in those meetings or just in certain situations. And so those are crucial. You definitely don't want to be in leadership without taking time alone with him, because if I hadn't, it would have not been good. So, yeah.
That's so good. And if you didn't catch that earlier, Allison is a student congress president. She's a boss lady. And she does it so well, humbly. And she also serves in the admissions department. Super professional. And as I'm hearing your stories and what you have been learning through your time in high school and here at Nelson, I'm just very proud of what God is doing in this generation. You know, the church, we have so much hope. And these ladies and people like him, the servant leaders like them, are going to take the lead for the next generation. And so God has taken care of the church. We're in good hands. I'm very proud of what you guys are communicating through your failures and lessons and all these unseen, unexpected moments. Okay, the next question is for both of you. Transformation in leadership. How has stepping into leadership roles on campus transformed the way you view what it means to serve others, especially in ministry? We briefly talked about servant leadership, but is there anything else that you want to speak into?
Yeah. It's about the people and the people God has called you to. A lot of people will step into leadership roles and they get their focus lost on just kind of sometimes the politics of things, to be honest, or they just get caught in themselves. And the biggest thing that I would be reminded of is who's it about? It's about the students of Nelson. What am I doing to impact them and help them have a positive experience? And I can't do everything. That's also something I had to learn. I can't do everything all myself. But definitely it's who's it for? It's for God ultimately, but also to serve his people. And so keeping that at the forefront of literally everything I do was crucial.
That's so good. Yeah. One thing with being a residential assistant is you are very much in ministry. Like it's ministry.
Yeah,
like
it
we do devos, all
Yeah.
this stuff. But one thing that the Lord's really shown to me I'm taking a class right now, Biblical Prayers Ministry.
Oh, yes. Good class.
And yes, and just the Lord is teaching me so much that like my job is to intercede on behalf of them. And sometimes like I'm not great at reaching out or doing some of the other things, but I'm in my prayer closet. Like I am praying for them every day. I'm praying for their needs. I'm praying before devos and asking the Lord to speak through me. It's just taught me a lot about just loving people and just doing little things to just bless them and encourage them and just, you know, getting to going to coffee or celebrating their birthdays. I mean, it's just little things to show people that you love them and that the Lord loves them too. Like your actions speak the Lord, like speak through the Lord, especially when we're in ministry roles. Like we are the face that people see a lot of times of God. And so we need to like be exuding his goodness and his love to others. So
good. You guys are ready for pastoral roles right now, today. Yeah. I think even a lot of pastors that are listening to this podcast today, you're probably taking some notes or as a reminder. I'm like, yeah, I remember learning that. Yes, I remember how God spoke to me back when, and I kind of forgot, and maybe you forgot the passion and zeal and really love for people, because just politics of ministry, you know, politics of life and leadership, you know, that could kind of blind you at times. But then going back to, hey, why are we doing what we're doing? And who is this ultimately for? Such a great reminder. Okay, it's already time to ask you the final question. I can't believe it. Oh my goodness, I can do this all day. Right. The ripple effect of transformation, because like as we change as leaders, it's not really about us, right? At the end of the day, yes, it's really between you and God, but then the whole dynamics of our transformed life is for the others, for the rest, for the world, right? So here's the question. What's one way your personal transformation has had a ripple effect on those around you, whether it's your peers, professors, or even family? How have you seen God use your transformation to inspire change in others?
When I had left high school, I came from a very small school. It was public school, but I graduated with 17 people. I left feeling very discouraged because I was like, I feel like I didn't do my justice. Like, I feel like I didn't, reach them for the gospel. I feel like I didn't show them the love of Jesus well enough. And so I left really discouraged, but the Lord challenged me. He was like, well, why aren't you praying for them? And so, I mean, every day I'm praying for my classmates, or specifically one of them usually. And it's so cool because I've seen the Lord doing things out of that. I've had multiple classmates apologize of how they've treated me regarding my faith. I've had classmates who are very in the LGBTQ community, starting to post Bible verses. Some of my classmates have asked, when does your church start? Like, I want to go. I know you're not there, but I want to go. And it's just so amazing because it's like, wow, like the Lord, my transformation, the transformation of my prayer life is directly affecting them and unbelievers. And even like praying for my friends around campus who are struggling with things, or one of my friends, her dad was going to get some results about whether or not he had cancer, and she asked me to pray with her, and the results came back clear. I mean, like, amazing things. And so like when we transform our lives, it ripple effects, and it affects so many other people, especially prayer. Like, that really affects people, and that's something the Lord's teaching me lately.
So unexpected gift, right? What God can do. How about you, Allison?
So something that I noticed was happening that I didn't necessarily plan on happening was, so as I would spend time on my drives or just in my prayer closet with God, something that I noticed that would start to happen is people would start telling me, whether we're at like this event for STUCO or even other events that I've done, or even just in meeting with them one-on-one, they started to talk about how I offer a lot of peace and like clarity and order in what I'm doing, and I'm not a chaotic person, and so that brings them a lot of peace too, and makes them feel like they can do their jobs and enjoy the events that we're doing, or anything of the sorts, or even just working like underneath my leadership, things like that. they would specifically talk about how peace was a big part of that and order. And that's definitely directly from spending time with God. He helped me feel at peace. And so I could offer that to the people that I'm leading. So
that's really good. Leadership, it's all about setting the tone. We are, and they have a saying, leaders are the thermostats, not a thermometer. So we have that responsibility and honor to set the tone, and whatever the tone that you set, it's going to be reflected on other people that you're working with and you serve. And so it's really amazing how much wisdom you two have already shared within this short period of time. I know that if we could have hours of our day, that you have so much more to offer. But just want to honor you and thank you so much for saying yes to serving God here on campus and just allowing yourself to learn through those mistakes. I am getting teared up now, because I had been in your shoe at one time, the lessons that I had to learn. Now I thank God for it.
Yeah.
And the lessons that you thought you've already learned, you have to relearn those, eventually. But I want you to know, ladies, that you're not alone. There is more than 10,000 credentialed women in the Assemblies of God that are here for you. I'm here for you.
Thank you.
AG is really an amazing family, and there's so many credentialed ministers, both men and women, that are really cheering you on and supporting you to say yes to this vocational call to ministry. So blessings to each of you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. But before we close, I want you to think about this young lady who's considering following Jesus with their yes to the vocational ministry. Maybe they never even consider being a pastor or missionary or whatever, but maybe they're thinking about it, And so what one encouragement would you like to give them? And just look at the camera and then give them your final shout out.
Yeah. So I would tell her, if God has called you to do something, that's all that matters. You can eliminate, obviously, people will encourage you. People will come with their words of encouragement, but also sometimes that won't always be the case. But the biggest thing that I would tell you is, if God called you to do it, hold on to that truth. Hold on to his promises. He who calls is faithful, and he equips you, and it does not matter what anybody else says or thinks ever.
That's so good. Like she said, if your call is to ministry and you know that without a doubt, just know that he's walking with you and he's going to provide every step of the way. Just rely on him, allow him to direct your paths, and just pay attention to his little blessings, his little encouragements along the way, and just know that he's walking beside you and you're not alone. And you're going to do amazing things for the Lord's kingdom, and it's just so exciting.
Yes, and they're here for you,
yes.
wherever you are. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us through this past 5 years of our journey. We are still here to continue to advocate for you and collaborate with each other and train those called to vocational ministry. There are a lot of exciting things coming up. For the next season, we're going to come back with some new faces and new feature for the podcast. So stay tuned under our new leadership. But thank you for your voice, your investment, your partnership. We love you and keep leading on. God bless you.
Bye, guys.